Niche Knacks. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Niche Knacks, the one trans man podcast where I talk about my niche interest. If you're looking for something new to get into, this is the place to be. I'm Augustine, and this episode of Niche Knacks is about Just Dance. Listen, I'm well aware Just Dance is not remotely niche. There's way over 15 games in the franchise. There's like 5 different fucking spin-offs. There's a lot. There's YouTube videos of people playing the game that have like thousands of views. It's not niche, but what is niche about Just Dance is the lore. Yes, Just Dance has a lore, and that's what I'm here to talk about. Things like, not just the lore, but just things about Just Dance that you probably don't ever think about, because to most people, you're just playing a game and you're just dancing and having fun. You don't think about the real happenings of what's going on in this game. And it's so intriguing to me, and I love Just Dance. Not because I love the gameplay, but I just love Just Dance. Okay, so before I get started and really into it, this episode's going to be really not as well structured as my other ones, because very unconventional means of talking about Just Dance, I'd say. But I do want to give you a little background. Maybe you grew up playing DDR. You don't even know what the fuck Just Dance is. And if you don't know what Just Dance is, you're really missing out. But first off, Just Dance first came out on the Wii in 2009, developed and published by Ubisoft. Also, I learned this not too long ago, but Ubisoft is based in France. And I learned this, not because I Googled it, but because I tried to apply for like a job there, and the application was in French. So I could not apply, which is kind of hilarious, but also unfortunate, because working on Just Dance would be literally like a miracle. Holy crap, that'd be awesome. So Just Dance has several spin-offs, like I said. The most recent game that came out was Just Dance 2023, and it was released in November 2022. That's pretty much about it. It's going to be really rambly. Just enjoy the ride. I'm just going to be talking about Just Dance for God knows how long. You know how long, as there is a timestamp. I don't. But I will be talking about it for a while. So, enough being informative. Let's hear why I love Just Dance. So first off, I want to say that Just Dance is extremely nostalgic for me. I played Just Dance 1 through 4 as a child. 4, also definitely my favorite. Absolutely my favorite. I also recently got really obsessed with Just Dance in September of 2022. I had bought Just Dance 22, and I played it for a bit too. I guess I'm a big fan. I like Just Dance a lot, even coming back to it as like an adult. It's a lot of it is 100% my nostalgia bias, but even as a person, like, I got into it for reasons I didn't care for as a kid. Like, there's still more to rediscover and enjoy for a game that is oddly enough, like, there's a lot more to it than you'd ever think of. And I also want to say the reason why I got so obsessed with it and like literally a few months ago was because I got a TikTok on my For You page. I'm a big TikTok user. I don't post a lot on there, although you may see some Niche Knacks on TikTok, of course. But I did see Just Dance TikTok, and it was one of my favorite videos still to this day. I love it. And it's just about a choreography. It's about one of the routines in Just Dance. Nightboat to Cairo by Madness. I believe it's in Just Dance 3. It might be in 2. It's 2 or 3. But this choreography is awful. It is so bad. It's hilarious. Like, it's so funny. And it's just a TikTok pointing out all the mistakes and like the fumbles that the dancers do. And I adore it. I love it. And it got me obsessed with Just Dance for like a month or 2. And it's just, you have to go watch it. It's so funny. But so personally, my favorite Just Dance routine is from Just Dance 3. It's I Don't Feel Like Dancing by the Scissor Sisters. I know the routine by heart. I could do the dance like right now, but I'm not gonna do that. And like in 2022 specifically, I almost have a completely perfect performance of it. I don't, because the Joy-Cons, I play on the Nintendo Switch, and the Joy-Cons are kind of finicky. If you've ever played Just Dance ever in your life, you'll know the scoring system is kind of bullshit. So yeah, I don't have a perfect score on I Don't Feel Like Dancing, but man, I love that song. I found that song because of Just Dance. It's one of my favorite songs. Now, that's a little brief overview of me and Just Dance, our relationship personally. I'm going to tell you about the lore. So, First, I want to say, like, the lore got majorly expanded in the recent game in 2023. I'm not super familiar with this game. I haven't watched a whole lot about it. I did read. Obviously, I do my research. I'm not an idiot. So I'll talk a little bit about it. But for the most part, I'm going to just talk about lore from, like, the older games and stuff. So, first off, I'm going to explain some vocab words. So the characters that you see dancing, like the ones in front of you that you follow the movements of in Just Dance, are called coaches. I always refer to these as avatars because I originally had interpreted that these characters were basically the embodiments of the songs. Like, if you turned a song into a human being or a creature, it would be this thing in front of you. That is not true. That's not how the Just Dance universe works, and I'll get into that. The gameplay, what you see, the choreography, they are called routines. So that's kind of important to know. Most of these coaches don't have names, so throughout the episode, I'm going to refer to a lot of them by the title of the song that they are for. Some of them do have names, which is really interesting. Some of the characters do have names, but most of them I'm just going to call by the song. If you've ever played Just Dance, you'll know that almost every character has bleach white skin, which is a little bit of a weird choice, and I'll talk more about that. But I'm about to deliver some mind-blowing information to you. So, Just Dance, the way like they make the game is that they actually have dancers in front of a green screen, and they go through and do all the fancy shit you see in post. But they do dress them like the coaches, you know. But, listen, I lost my mind when I found this out. So, they paint the people white. They do not make their skin white in post. They literally fucking paint them white. I can't even, like, begin to tell you, like, how baffled and, like, I was mind blown when I found out they paint these fucking people white. It's not a post effect. They are just white when they dance, and I was, like, in awe. Like, I still am. Like, it's crazy to me. Obviously, those are only the humanoid coaches. There are people who are just straight up in fursuits. There's also some CGI and claymation in Just Dance. There's a lot of art that goes into these games that you would probably never think about, and it's really great. There's quite a few coaches also are performed by the same people. There's one actor, and I can't remember his name, but he plays pretty much like every coach I really like, which is kind of funny to me. That also blew my mind when I found out. I believe some of so player 4 in Crucified by Army of Lovers. Love that man. He's the best one. I always play him. I believe that I Don't Feel Like Dancing one. Mr. Overload, who is never gonna give you up. Spin Me Right Round. I'm pretty sure all 4 of those are the same fucking guy. And, like, I love all of them. They're all so fruity and amazing and wonderful. And he plays a bunch more, too. But I'm going to go more into the actual lore now. I just kind of give you a little overview of some of the Just Dance stuff. But, so quite a few of the routines you see have actual plots, like, going on in them. I think the biggest example is Eminem's Without Me. The background has an entire superhero comic book that has, like, a plot line going on while the coaches, who are the superheroes, are dancing in front of it. And I swear to God, there's one character who's just straight up a JoJo reference. I love it. It's really great. And if you go to the wiki page for Without Me, you can read the whole comic book. But the routine is wonderful. I think it's fun to dance to, and it's just a vibe. So I highly recommend that one. And I mentioned before that the coaches are not embodiments of the music you hear because they appear in multiple songs. And this is where, like, the lore comes in. There is a lot of things going on, and some of these plots expand multiple routines. Very interesting. And I think the biggest one is there's 2 characters in Just Dance 2022. There's a character named The Traveler, and he's the coach for Justin Timberlake's Rock Your Body. He has a wife and a kid, and his wife's name is Siha Nova, like Supernova, but it's like Siha. She is the coach for Levitating by Dua Lipa. But first, we are introduced to these characters separately. They're in their own world, doing their own things. The Traveler has the ability to open portals to different worlds. And at the end of Rock Your Body, he opens a portal to the world we see in Levitating, in Siha Nova's world. Then there's a third routine, which is Save Your Tears, the remix by The Weeknd and Ariana Grande. And this is a duet with The Traveler and Ciha Nova, and it's a love story. It shows them in love. Crazy stuff, guys. I think to like a lot of people, this probably means absolutely nothing to you, but as someone who grew up with Just Dance, to find out that there's like all this other shit going on I had no idea about, really, that's what excites me the most. But I mentioned they have a kid, and their kid is introduced in Just Dance 2023. When I was doing research for this, I found out, when I went to the wiki, there's literally a fucking comic that shows Ciha Nova pregnant with this child. He's like a grown man, a teenager. I don't know how old he is in 2023, but like, they're making comics with the lore that aren't even in the game. It's baffling. But I should mention, so Ciha Nova has blue skin. She's one of the few characters and coaches in Just Dance who aren't straight up white. Very interesting. But she has blue skin, and her son does as well. Her son's name is Wanderlust. He also has blue skin, and he's canonically a deity. He is a Just Dance god, which implies that Ciha Nova is also a deity. I don't know if it's a thing with the blue skin, but the Traveler can open portals. So there's Just Dance, there's gods, there's deities that exist in the fucking Just Dance universe. And Wanderlust is, he's also referred to the Prince of the Dance Verses, where there's fucking multiverses. And it's called the Dance Verse. Like, there's so much shit going on in Just Dance, man. It's crazy. I don't even know why there's multiple of them, but when I talk about the Just Dance universe, I'm not going to be referring to it as the Dance Verse, because there are human beings that exist. The coaches are not humans. They are a different species, on a different plane of existence, called the Dance Verse. And in Just Dance 2023, the human world intersects with it. A human being enters the Dance Verse, and she's the only character in Just Dance who's ever referred to as a human, meaning everyone else is not. Baffling. So, anyway. This lore is very new, as we just saw. It just came out in November 2022. But there is lore that extends to Just Dance 1. Specifically, just with the coach. So the coach from Katy Perry's Hot and Cold, she's referred to as the bride, and she has a lot of lore. She's iconic. Also, if you know anything about Just Dance, especially if you were a kid, you probably know the bride. She's iconic. She's wonderful. Fun fact, going about Just Dance 1, every single female dancer in Just Dance 1 was played by the same woman. Did not know that. Very interesting fun fact. So, anyway, the bride. So, Hot and Cold is in like 4 or 5 different routines. Not all of them she's completely playable. Some of them she's just in the background, but she's a very prominent character in the Just Dance lore, okay? In Just Dance 2019, we find out why she's a bride, and it's because she's fucking married to Rasputin from Just Dance 2. What? She's married! And this routine is insane. So it's Sugar by Maroon 5. And it actually shows us a bunch of different couples, and I don't know if they're all married or some of them are just dating, but it's really interesting. This routine is so interesting. We get introduced to a lot of things. Also, queer representation in this routine as well. So first, I'm just going to go in order, where when you open the routine for Sugar, you start off with the bride and Rasputin, and they're married, they're in love, they're having a great time. Then, the coach from Call Me Maybe, I believe she's in Just Dance 2, maybe 3, or 4. God, I don't know. She's one of the older ones. So the coach from Call Me Maybe also has a name. Her name's Mabel. Did not know that. I don't even know where the hell her name gets introduced. But Mabel comes out with the panda. The panda. So first off, not only do we have crazy connections, the furries and the humanoids are dating. There is a relationship between a humanoid, she's not a human person, she's a humanoid, and a furry. Crazy. The panda is also a really prominent figure in Just Dance, and he appears in a lot of different routines. He even is in, there's even a claymation version of him. I don't even know what the hell that's all about. I think I don't know which one is probably his most notable one. Maybe I Got a Feeling. But the panda is iconic to Just Dance for sure. But he's dating a fucking humanoid woman. Crazy. But it gets better. Listen. Listen, it gets even better. So, then the next couple we see is the lady from Built for This by Becky G, and the carrot from Hatsune Miku's Po. Not only is Hatsune Miku in Just Dance, but the carrot person, and they're just a carrot with arms and legs, basically. They're huge. Not only is this like an actual character in Just Dance, they also have a girlfriend, and guess what? The carrot's a woman. They are lesbians. There is a carrot dating a humanoid woman, and they are lesbians, and that is, I don't know what can get fucking crazier than that in Just Dance. No, we have a straight woman dating a fucking furry, and now we have a carrot and her, goddamn, I'm misgendering the carrot. We have a carrot and her fucking humanoid girlfriend. I don't, like, what? For the longest time, I thought the carrot was a man, and like, just a carrot person with no face being in a relationship with a humanoid woman was crazy. Then I found out the carrot is a woman, and I lost my fucking mind that they're lesbians. Amazing. So, there's a lot of queer representation in Just Dance, by the way. I'll get more into that later. I need a drink of water here. I don't know if I'll leave this in, but I'm real thirsty right now. Okay. I'm a human. I need my water. So after that, there's like total of 5 couples in this routine, by the way. After the fucking bomb dropping of a lesbian carrot and her beautiful humanoid girlfriend, we see the coach from Drop the Mambo. Her name is Rita Pina, and we also see the coach from Love Me Again by John Newman. Rita is a transgender woman. At least that is kind of what is implied. She's played by a male dancer, but everywhere on the wiki and everything that I know, she's referred to by she, her pronouns. So it is possible she is just a man in drag, but I like to think that she's just straight up trans. And what the hell, transgender woman in love with a normal, boring, cisgender looking man? Rita looks amazing. She's all out. She's going crazy. She looks great. Amazing, and I just like that. It's so silly to me, but it's great. And finally, this last couple's a lot boring. I'm sorry. We really had the uptrain of humanoid furry relationship, humanoid fucking lesbian carrot relationship, transgender women, and then now it's just like a normal straight couple. It's Katy Perry's California Girls and Cake by the Ocean by, I don't know if it's Dance or just DNCE. I don't know how you pronounce it. But yeah, that's the last couple. But it's crazy. Like, this one routine just straight up gave us like 5 canonical relationships. But the one that is most important is the bride and Rasputin. And I'll get into why. So, after Sugar, we see the bride and Rasputin again in TGIF, Thank God It's Friday, by Katy Perry. This is also one of my favorite routines because it also gives kind of like that cute Easter. It's more of an Easter egg than it is like a lore tidbit. But basically in the routine, almost all of the coaches from other Katy Perry Just Dance routines show up and dance together. If you don't know much about Just Dance, Katy Perry is kind of like almost all of her fucking songs are they're in Just Dance. And so they basically made like a swan song for Katy Perry and all her coaches, and it's really great. We also see some other characters in the background. You see the Traveler, and I believe this came out before 2022, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. We also see Mr. Overload, the Never Gonna Give You Up, and Rasputin. We see Rasputin and Hot and Cold dancing together in the routine. They're great. They're in love. They're married. But this may honestly be crazier than Lesbian Carrot Woman, because this to me is just fucking hysterical. I think this is so funny. So, there was a new lore development in Just Dance 2023. And when I saw this, I lost my mind. So funny. But the bride and Rasputin got a divorce. I think that is so funny that divorce is in Just Dance. You can't tell me that is not the funniest shit you've ever seen. And it's Sweet But Psycho by Ava Max. And it shows hot and cold, the bride, half of her costume's completely ripped up to be like a sexy kind of dominatrix-esque woman. She's the psycho in quotations. I don't really like using that word. And like the routine is her trashing a wedding hall, tearing and breaking shit apart. We see photos of her and Rasputin in the background. They got a fucking divorce, and we don't know why. But maybe it's because she's crazy, I guess. I don't know. But that is so funny. Divorce exists in the dance verse. Insane. And I also want to say that Rasputin, obviously he's very iconic. I'm sure most people, when they reminisce on Just Dance, they probably think of that routine from Just Dance 2. But the character, the coach, he's actually been in several other routines without the bride. He was in Hungarian Dance No. 2 with the coach from Body Moving by the Beastie Boys. And he was also in the YMCA, which I believe this means he's a queer individual. And so are the other 3 coaches. There's 4 coaches on the YMCA. And it's for him, Moves Like Jagger by Maroon 5, which that man is a fucking homosexual. Listen, I'm just gonna go off on a tangent right now because I did not write this in the script, and it needs to be said. In Just Dance 4, there are things called dance battles, and basically you and a friend or whoever will pick between 2 coaches, and you'll dance together to fight each other, and the best scoring switches the song. And there's a dance battle between Moves Like Jagger and Mr. Overload, Never Gonna Give You Up, and it is the gayest fucking thing I've ever seen. One of the first things I posted on my TikTok was me just like, I just screen recorded some of the dance and posted it, and I was like, these bitches gay. I think Moves Like Jagger and Never Gonna Give You Up are dating, because it's like, it's supposed to be like a battle. Man, if they're battling, they're fucking sword fighting, if you catch my drift. Like, it's so... That's awful, I'm sorry. But they're really gay, and I love them. So, anyway, there's a few other dance battles they're very iconic. I love them a lot. But that one sticks out to me the most for the gay aspect of it. The other gay characters in the YMCA are Viva La Vegas by Elvis Presley and Dare by Gorillaz. Also, I had no idea Gorillaz was in Just Dance until I got back into it in September, by the way. And this song, Dare, was in Just Dance 1. Gorillaz has been in the first Just Dance game? Huh? Like, I don't know. That's just crazy to me. And I think that's another thing that baffles me. Like, when I was going back through and looking at the song list, there's a lot of songs that I really like that were in, like, older Just Dance games, and I had no idea. Like, I did not play these routines growing up, and now I'm like, holy shit, I love this song. What? Crazy. And even growing up, I found a lot of good music from Just Dance. Marina and the Diamonds, that's how I found her, was because of Just Dance. And, I mean, she just goes by Marina now. But I love Oh No by Marina is permanently etched into my brain, and it is because of Just Dance. I love that Just Dance routine a lot, too. It's so good. And really, it introduced me to a lot of great music and great artists. And even today, like... I put a song in my playlist. It was a Just Dance song, too. Just Dance original. I'll talk more about that. But, like, there's just some really great things that you'll see and get out of this game. Okay, some other, like, little connection stuff I want to talk about. The coach from Wake Me Up by Avicii is apparently the ex-boyfriend of Talia Sway. And she's a coach from 2023. She's basically just Taylor Swift, but... specifically in the routine for Taylor Swift's I Knew You Were Trouble, he's just apparently in the background, which is really funny. We got ex-boyfriend coaches in Just Dance. The main villain of Eminem's Without Me has her own version of that routine. It's the extreme version, and she slays. It's great. I can't do it because it's too fucking hard, but I love watching it. Another song, Telephone by Lady Gaga, was added in 2023, and I think pretty much like all the other Lady Gaga coaches are in it, which is really funny. But it's even funnier because they all are in jail. I don't know what every single Lady Gaga coach did to get in prison, but they are all inmates at a female prison, which is really funny. And it's even funnier because they break out. The song, I haven't actually watched the routine. I've seen clips of it. I need to go watch it. I may do it after I record this. But they break out of prison, and... very funny. I love it. Going back to, like, the fact that these are humanoids, I don't think I touched much on this, But when I said like the dance verse and the human world move over, they like collide. So like pretty much the first trailer, I think, like all the promotional material and the story, because there is like an actual plot line and story to Just Dance 2023. But it's a human woman named Sarah entering the dance verse, and she literally goes through her fucking TV into it. The Wanderer like reaches out and like grabs her hand, and she goes on an adventure in the dance verse. Crazy. So there's like she looks like a normal coach. She gains the bleach white skin when she enters, but she is a human being, and none of the other coaches are, which is very weird. Very weird. And the actual story to Just Dance 2023, there's like a playlist in the game, and I think it has 7 songs. I'm not gonna like even give you a song list because I just don't really care that much. The characters, the main like cast of 2023 isn't really interesting to me. The only one's design that like really should appeal to me, I think he's too obnoxious. I don't like it, so they need to give me more actual good gay characters, I swear. But there's a main villain in the story. Like we have a villain Just Dance coach, which is like I think we've always had kind of like that, but she has mind control powers. Very interesting. Oh, and at the end of Just Dance 2023, Sarah does return to the human world. She just goes back. I don't know. But now I want to talk about the representation a little bit more. So we already have like quite a few queer people like that I've mentioned, but there's a lot. Way more than I ever like expected growing up. There is a canonical non-binary character who uses they them pronouns. Their name is Samson Garnet. They go by Scarlet Gold. Scarlet owns a club, and we actually see there's quite a few routines that take place in this club, and I love this routine. So Scarlet Gold, they're the coach for You Make Me Feel Mighty Real by Sylvester, and Sylvester, I actually didn't know who this person was before Just Dance, but they are prominent queer disco artists from the 70s. There is also a drag queen named Fuchsia Blue. She's the coach for Boy You Can Keep It by Alex Newell, and Newell is also a gay man who uses all pronouns. There's a routine with a coach. There's a routine with a coach who's also just like it's a real life person doing it, which is weird. It's still like kind of in the Just Dance art style, but like he has like his normal skin tone. He's a black man. It's Chodrick Hall. He's also gay. And it's called, I can't remember the exact title. It's like Hips, Nails, Hair, something like that. I believe he's a drag queen or he was in RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm pretty sure Alex Newell was in RuPaul's Drag Race as well. But that's just like a whole routine where a gay black man, he actually has his skin tone. It's not bleached white, thank God. And he's doing his whole routine, and it looks great. There's also a few characters who are performed by people of like the opposite gender. Like the character's a woman, but they're performed by a man. Like with Rita Pina, but I'm pretty sure the character is a trans woman. Also, despite the fact that most of the Just Dance characters are literally bleach white, a lot of the coaches are black. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I like the artistic choice of them all being bleach white. I just think it's interesting, but I feel like it is a little problematic given everything. It's a bit weird. Especially the fact that when they record it, they literally paint the people white. I don't know. It may just be a non-issue. I can't really speak on it because I'm a white person, but it is a little weird. And some of the characters, it's like you would never know that like they're black unless you didn't like look at the performer. Specifically on like Disturbia by Rihanna, the performer is this very like I guess it's kind of like an art pop goth look. It's very like avant-garde, and she's a black woman, but she has the wig she's wearing is not textured. But like I like to think the coach is just a black woman because of that, even though like obviously her skin is just white. But there's a lot of coaches who do have textured hair, and they're performed by black women and black men that you just wouldn't know unless you look into it. But it's interesting to me with all that, and to me, in my opinion, if the coach is like if their performer is a black person, even if they're painted white, the coach to me, they're black. Doesn't matter. That's a black person. And that's how I think it should be viewed. I do imagine, so with the white, it's a bit weird. I think they may have chose to do it because of the green screen, make it easier to edit them out. And also maybe just have a consistent style, like what coaches should look like. It's definitely weird and maybe problematic. But I don't know. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Going along with the representation, there's a lot of different languages in Just Dance, which I guess makes sense because Ubisoft is French, but there is all kinds of different languages all around the world. There is, some of them are a little bit weird, not like the song is weird, but like what Just Dance chose to do with them. There's one Ukrainian song and like the entire catalog of Just Dance, and the routine is Japanese themed. It's very odd, and I do think like quite a few of the routines are probably culturally appropriative. I also can't really speak on that as a white person, but that is like kind of a warning. Some of the routines are probably culturally insensitive, which really sucks. But there are a lot of other good things, like with the representation. For example, in Just Dance 2023, they added a wheelchair user who's a coach, and their name is Aurelian. Like, he has an actual name, which is cool. And there have been seated dances in the past, but this is like the first time that like the coach is physically disabled. And honestly, disability representation really goes underrepresented in any sort of media. So the fact that there's even one, I think, is great. And I think I definitely would like to see more disability representation in Just Dance. I'd also like to see more representation of different body types, specifically more fat men. There isn't a whole lot of fat women either, but there are more than there are fat men. There's about 3 big women in Just Dance that come to mind. It's Big Girl, You Are Beautiful by Micah. And I love that song. I discovered it on TikTok, and when I looked back, it's in Just Dance 2, like a really old game, and it's kind of iconic. I really like that. There's also a new character in Just Dance 2023, and she's like one of the main supporting protagonists. Her name is Braziana. She's from Dua Lipa's Physical, and also the player 2 coach in Que Tire Pa'lante. She's they're wrestlers, like lucha libres, but she's a bigger woman too. And there's probably, from what I know, and granted I could be wrong because there are literally like thousands of Just Dance routines at this point, there's only one humanoid male coach who's fat, and it is the male coach in Hit the Road Jack. There are other routines that have people in fat suits, and I really don't like that. It feels really gross and borderline fetishy. It's very problematic to me. It is definitely partly a product of its time, but it's not a good thing. The only other fat male character I can think of is not a humanoid. He's like a man made of jello, and he's the coach for Shaky Shaky by Daddy Yankee. But if I remember it correctly, the whole thing is just like, oh, he's fat, and it's kind of like it feels really fetishy. I don't know. I don't really like it. There's only really one fat man in Just Dance, to my knowledge, who's just kind of normal. And it's still like he's in a negative situation because it's like his woman telling him to fucking get out. But generally speaking, I like the representation in Just Dance. I really love the character designs, and I'd love to cosplay some of them. Oh, but another thing. If you thought Hatsune Miku was crazy to be in Just Dance, there are fucking League of Legends characters in Just Dance. There's literally, and I was astounded, because about time I got into Just Dance, I was kind of into League. I hate the gameplay. It's awful, but I love Arcane, and I think the lore and the characters are generally really cool. I'm really bad at League. I don't enjoy it. It's not fun. Not fun. But there are several, I think 3 or 4 KDA songs in Just Dance, and like, they're just straight up the characters. They're not like coaches who are like dressed like them. It's just straight up like, here's Akali, here's Evelyn, and it's just like, holy shit. Why is League of Legends in Just Dance? It's crazy. I think that's hilarious. They actually just added like, I think it's just one. They added a KDA song in 2023, but there's 2 different versions. One of them has Seraphine. By the way, I fucking hate Seraphine. She's an awful character. Just a little League opinion there. Yeah, really funny. Another thing is that Ubisoft has been using original songs since at least Just Dance 3. There might be some older ones, I'm not exactly sure, but I know for a fact there is an original song in Just Dance 3. And that really blew my mind. I thought every song they had was like, I knew they did covers, but I didn't know they had straight up original music they created for the games. And some of the covers are really bad. The Just Dance cover of Toxic from Just Dance 2 is so fucking bad. It is hilarious. I think it is so funny. I highly recommend listening to it, especially if you like were aware of the routine and played it as a child and you haven't revisited yet, because I did not know it was even a cover, and God, when I heard it, I lost my mind. It's so bad. It's funny. It's so funny. And I think maybe the reason this cover, like, the cover being so bad, I feel like is the reason why they did Toxic again. In 2023, they did a whole new routine for Toxic, and I believe they do reference the old one too. But they actually got the original song. It's not a cover. They actually got Britney Spears' voice in it, which is funny. But yeah, goes into that cover. It may be in the background of this, but please, it's so bad. Spectronizer is a Just Dance 3 song in Japanese, and it's also an original song that Ubisoft made. I love this song a lot. I didn't know it was an original until I got back into it. It's in my Spotify playlist. I had a dream once. I was in this weird prison complex, just like wandering around, I guess, and they had like a gift shop with like bootleg merchandise, but some of the merchandise was of the Spectronizer like coaches from Just Dance, like on backpacks, and I was like, what the fuck? It was really weird. Very funny. I like Just Dance so much it was in my dreams. Crazy. Not all the covers are bad. I actually like some of the covers even more than their original counterparts. The cover of Sway by Dean Martin is amazing, and it brings so much more vibrancy and life to the song. It's covered by Marine Band. I don't know what exactly that means. I don't know if like the names that Ubisoft uses for their cover artists are like actual groups or just names that their employees use. I don't know, but it's by Marine Band if you look it up on YouTube or just listen to the Just Dance routine. I love the music a lot. I like it way more than Dean Martin's. It's definitely a different vibe, but I like it more. I'm not sure. Hopefully I can actually get some Just Dance music in the background of this. Most of these songs have lyrics, so I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to, but I want to try because it's really good. There's also a song, Chihuahua, which it was like trending on my side of the mentally ill gay people TikTok for a bit, and when I found out it was an original Just Dance song, I lost it. Every time I find something else new about this game, I somehow lose it, because I guess it's maybe the nostalgia, but it baffles me every time. At the beginning of this episode, I mentioned I got back into Just Dance recently because of choreography errors in Night Boat to Cairo. And there are other choreographies that have errors too, and I think they're equally funny. Actually, I'm lying. Night Boat to Cairo is way fucking funnier, but they're still really good. So even Spectronizer actually has some errors in the choreo, and it's pretty funny. Most of the errors in Just Dance come from people stepping on each other's shoes. There's one in Disturbia where the coach is like she was wearing huge like platform heels, and her foot does the thing, like, you know, it's like her foot just fucking broke, but she just goes on. That's definitely not supposed to happen. They're really enjoyable to watch. Please watch the Night Boat, the Cairo one. Listen, if it got me and my mentally ill neurodivergent brain back into Just Dance, you probably have those things too. Go watch it. You might be really into it. So I just want to close off talking about some of my favorite Just Dance routines and coaches. And by that, I mean, I'm just going to talk about one. I've already spoken a little bit about, I love Never Gonna Give You Up. You Spin Me Right Round, and I Don't Feel Like Dancing. Those are probably my top 3, but there's one. I might like it more. I never got to play it when I got back into Just Dance because it wasn't in Just Dance Unlimited in 2022, but this one holds a special place in my heart. And that is Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles in Just Dance 3. Besties and babes, I was in love with this man as a child. I drew him in my diary, and I referred to the coach as my boyfriend. And I still love this man. And this entire routine is so visually stunning to me. I'm I'm also convinced I got the Video Killed the Radio Star coach added to the Tumblr Sexypedia. I made a tweet one day, basically just saying the coach deserves to be in the Sexypedia, and then boom, he got added, and I was just like, oh, that was me! And like, the idea of someone else having that same idea for something so obscure as a Just Dance coach from Just Dance 3, no way that happened. And by that I mean, it definitely happened. I will be astounded if I was actually the reason, but I like to think I am because I am a bit egotistical, and the idea of someone else doing that makes me upset. It was all me. He's on there because of me, and I don't care what anyone else says. Even if I'm lying to myself. But anyway, so the Video Killed the Radio Star routine is amazing, and it's affected me, I think, a lot as an artist. And just like, even though it was something I viewed as a child, just the way I think about things, and like, it's just so much of it is in my art style still. And for a while, I actually drew this man like once every year. I just always loved this coach a lot, and his design's great. And the background too, so good. If you go to my Instagram right now, follow me at KissMeLoser with a 0 as the O on Instagram. There is a drawing where I just like basically took the background from the routine and edited it a little bit, and boom, there's I drew on top of it, and I love it. And it follows me everywhere, like this routine from Just Dance specifically. And also the song is fantastic. I love the song Video Killed the Radio Star. It's amazing. And Just Dance is how I found this song too. I feel like this song is just such an important part of like me as a person in a way, and it represents so much about myself. I don't know if I'd ever find the song if it wasn't for Just Dance. And at least I wouldn't have found it that early. So it's just something that's always stuck with me in my work, even if I don't realize it. And honestly, I don't even know what to tell you. Just Dance is influential. It's an icon. It's phenomenal. I also think there was a Just Dance fashion show, like an actual Just Dance fashion show at some point. And I just love Just Dance so much. If you're somebody who's interested in goofy, weird, fantastical dance routines with bright, fun visuals and cool Easter eggs throughout the catalog, or maybe you're just looking for a way to get fit with some good music, Just Dance might just be your niche. Keep a lookout for your next Niche Knack. Next week, I'll cover a strategic card game with some deep lore, Inscription.